comparing the damage.
Then I realized there was more than just the jets coming in.
The difference between the aftermaths of a tornado and a hurricane. A community comes together.
The damage was more significant than we could have imagined.
After a tornado hits their place of prayer. And 3 student athletes.
So it's just like fun having like built-in best friends.
Who might just have the best team chemistry. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Natalie LaRoche-Petrie. Today is Friday, January 12th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Striking back, the U.S. firing rockets after recent attacks on commercial ships, but it's the closeness to the war in Gaza that is making many nervous. President Biden stated both the United States and United Kingdom bombed Iranian-based Houthis in Yemen last night in an act of retaliation from a series of attacks from the Houthis.
The U.S. military says that it is aimed at protecting the economy, as last night officials say the U.S. and U.K. struck over 60 Houthi targets as a result of the attacks through the commercial shipping Red Sea trade route. The group planned on driving up the cost of goods worldwide.
The kinds of attacks that they've been conducting since November 19th will not be tolerated.
Despite President Biden claiming that the attack was backed by U.S. allies such as the Netherlands and Canada, sources say that U.S. retaliation can result in international conflict in conjunction with the war already furthering in Gaza.
New video has emerged showing the moment an SUV tried to beat a rail crossing Brightline train that left from Miami towards Orlando. Tony Atkins from West 2 News reported yesterday from the city of Melbourne.
Harrowing moments. It's about 2 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. A car waits for a Brightline train to pass by on West H. Jackson Street in Melbourne. Shortly after, an SUV zips around its left, past the crossing arm and flashing lights. Then the train.
Me and my showroom manager looked at each other and were like, what was that?
Jacob Hungerford was working at a nearby business when he heard the collision. In the video, he's seen running outside immediately.
The car was flipped over on its side, and there was a lady hanging out of the back. She was covered in blood, and all of them were saying, please help me, please help me.
Inside the car, a man and 3 passengers. The driver died and the passengers were taken to the hospital. The train was stopped for hours as police investigated. And here at the site of the crash, you could still see remnants from what happened yesterday. For example, over my shoulder, a piece of that SUV.
Honestly, I was telling them yesterday, it's just a lot of sadness in the air. A lot of sadness, you know. It makes me want to choke up thinking about it.
With Brightline running between Orlando and Miami, there are more trains coming through Brevard County. Mayor Paul Alfrey wants drivers to realize that.
Years ago, we had 5 or 6 trains maybe a day, and we're getting 5, 6 times that.
Jacob says it's still tough processing what happened on Wednesday.
I'm really sorry that this happened, and it's a rough lesson to learn.
In Melbourne, Tony Atkins, West.
A feeling of deja vu this morning after a tornado in Florida had neighbors thinking about a hurricane from 6 years earlier. Marissa Ju-Ray from WJHJ reports from Panama City Beach.
Debris was strewn across streets and houses lifted from their foundations. Don Culver and Matt Templin are staying in condos right in the middle of the devastation.
As we look behind us and see everything that's damaged, the recovery is challenging for many people.
Debris from houses lining this street and others on the beach. People are starting to begin the process of cleaning up, and they tell us this destruction is reminding them of Hurricane Michael, but they will continue to be resilient and build back stronger.
Culver was at his work in Kentucky when Michael hit.
The weatherman during Michael was broadcasting from our garage here. And I noticed that the roofs of the houses next door to us flew off.
But now, years later, this is a flashback to that time.
Moved forward a few years, and when the building started moving here on the 16th floor, then I realized there was more than just the jets coming in and the wind.
He says they did get some damage from Michael.
We had a lot of water damage with the wind blowing water in.
And the damage from this storm
we only see apparently just somewhat superficial. There's a lot of railing damage and those types of things.
Even still, people are continuing to push past despite the challenges.
Willpower of the people saying we will rebuild, we will rebuild.
In Panama City Beach, Marissa Jure, News Channel 7.
More tornado damage a little north of the beach, where a religious community is building back after major damage to their church this week. Austin Mayday from WJHG reports from Jackson County.
Jackson County, a tight-knit network of people.
This community is amazing. Jackson County, I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather live.
One of the pillars of the county is Evangel Church in Marianna. Like many people, Pastor Levon Pettis had quite the morning on Tuesday, and it started with a phone call from his daughter.
She called me and said that there had been some issues here at the church and it had turned over a shed.
It was worse than Pettis expected.
When we got here, the damage was more significant than we could have imagined.
The front porch of their worship center entirely detached, and that was just the beginning.
The storm just sucked out one of the walls on that building and messed up, lifted the roof a little bit, and then went to the back of the property and damaged some buildings there.
As fate would have it, it's this very cafeteria behind me on Evangel's campus that helped feed thousands of first responders in 2018 that were helping Marianna recover from Hurricane Michael.
We fed almost 21,000 first responders and emergency personnel from all over the state, from different states.
It's a quite different role for Evangel this time around.
Storms aren't uncommon to us, but being the one now that needs the help and the assistance is something new for us.
And the assistance has come in waves.
We had churches calling us from out of state. How can we help?
Pastor Pettis says the outpouring of help isn't surprising.
Marianna and Jackson County is very resilient. We are a people that come together in times of crisis when something's going on.
In Marianna, Austin Maida, News Channel 7.
This morning, scientists are issuing a stern warning of the crab-eating macaque potentially being the next invasive species in Florida. The species is one of the top 40 high-risk invaders, and it joins the list with the alewife herring, the zebra mussel, and the red swamp crayfish. Scientists at the University of Florida compiled the information based on their ability to spread, establish, and impact Florida's ecology.
NASA celebrates a breakthrough this morning after finally opening an asteroid container flown back from space. Back in October, the space agency temporarily stopped trying. Curation team members encountered difficulty disassembling the device used to collect samples in space. New tools had to be formed to access the space material inside. The findings on the space samples are set to be released this spring.
An overtime thriller for the cardiac cats.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
You know, I feel like they shine the brightest when the lights are brightest.
It's not hockey. Instead, a special group of players are pulling off a hat trick in their sports. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
I could really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Pantotech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Three's Company, high school sports teams at one school, feature players who have been huddling together since birth. Triplets Elizabeth, Megan, and Andrew are each making a name for themselves under the bright lights.
Mike Dwyer from WCPO reports from Cincinnati.
There isn't a sports season that goes by without a Zimmerman triplet competing at Cincinnati Country Day. Basketball is the sport right now for sisters Megan and Elizabeth Zimmerman and their brother Andrew.
Supportive teammates and just incredible competitors. And, you know, I feel like they shine the brightest when the lights are brightest.
The Zimmerman siblings are stars on the court and in the classroom while supporting one another.
You always have someone. You know, we're all in the same classes. We all do like our homework together sometimes. So it's just like fun having like built-in best friends that you grow up with and stuff.
That camaraderie is evident anytime they are together, including the questions they receive from others.
Look at Andrew, you don't really think we're triplets. Yeah, people are always shocked about that. Like, oh, you guys twins? And we're like, yeah. And then sometimes they're like, oh, this is also my triplet brother. Don't want to leave him out. Yeah. And they're like, what?
Andrew, an all-state kicker in football, is co-president of the senior class. Megan and Elizabeth have a good deal of notoriety through soccer. The sisters helped to lead the Nighthawks to back-to-back state titles. Megan scored the game-winning goal this past season. Elizabeth scored the game winner in 2022.
My teammates, getting to play with Elizabeth, just people that I'll always remember in a season, in a school, and team that I'll always remember too.
That's why the siblings are cherishing every memory these last few months of high school. Megan and Elizabeth play lacrosse in the spring, while Andrew plays baseball. The siblings want to see each other succeed, regardless of the sports season.
If you have like a rough day, they're always there at home just to like hang out with sometimes, just so they're always there for me.
All three say they are weighing their options when it comes to playing sports in college.
This morning, the Panthers remain the hottest team in the NHL as they extend their winning streak to 9 games. They found themselves entering down 2-1 in the final period of play, but in true cardiac fashion would force overtime. The play of the night went to Sam Reinhart, who scored a power play goal with less than 2 seconds left on the clock. The final score was Los Angeles 2, Panthers 3. The Panthers will continue their current homestand when they face the New Jersey Devils tomorrow night. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Natalie LaRoche-Pietri.
And I'm Anthony Cruz. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.